Connecting.
All right, welcome everybody on YouTube. I'm Rick Hassler and my son RJ are the hosts today for Nature's Frequencies EMF Shield. We are not Susie Jackson, our famous host. For everybody on YouTube. Just so you know, we are not Susie Jackson, our host. Her son is getting married today. And we are incredibly happy and proud for Susie. So with that, let's start. And RJ will share his screen.
We got an echo here.
Married today. How do we have an echo?
With that, are you on the YouTube?
Let's start.
Are you on the
Somebody's
YouTube?
on YouTube. RJ will share his screen.
We got an echo here.
Married today. How do we have an echo?
Oh, I think we're good. Are you on the YouTube?
Not me.
Okay,
somebody's on YouTube.
Okay, hang on. I got an idea. I think it's gone. Are we good?
Arch?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, start sharing your screen. Here we go.
Okay.
This is not the right screen.
Hold up.
Ruh-roh.
Not ruh-roh.
This is what happens when we don't have Susie Jackson. All right.
Wrong screen shared. Hold up. We need to stop too.
Sorry, everybody. Technical difficulties. Oh, you got the right. You're getting closer.
I think we should be good.
Can we go to screen one?
Do you see what I see?
There we go. I love this screen. Now I see this, I just smile. Welcome, everybody. This is us, Nature's Frequencies. And just so you know, this is our Saturday Zoom event. Every Saturday, 11 o'clock, you can find us here at this very fine channel. You'll see us live on YouTube. And RJ, let's hear a little bit about us.
All right.
Good health is not something we can buy, but something we can improve. For decades, people have searched the answers to many questions regarding our health and improving it. Do you want to have the ability to live life to the fullest? Are you interested in sleeping better at night and having more energy during the day in a natural, healthy way? What if there was a revolutionary technology that could change your life? A technology that slows the aging process of fruits, vegetables, and breads, and also assists the body in offsetting the harmful effects of electromagnetic fields and more? We introduce Nature's Frequencies, an award-winning company that manufactures innovative health and wellness products under 6 U.S. patents, with natural health and wellness solutions that assists with balancing and harmonizing the body. But how do we do this? We combine knowledge from the East with technology from the West. As far back as 6000 BC, the Chinese have believed that the body has an optimal energy flow. When this flow is disrupted, it manifests negatively by stimulating specific points on the body. The body is encouraged to correct itself. We fast forward to the 19th century, a period of exciting scientific progress in the West. During this time, Nikola Tesla was a genius before his time. This Serbian-American inventor, engineer, and physicist confirmed the existence of scalar waves. Scalar waves are composed of pure zero-point energy. This gives them the ability to store data in a substrate. But something must be able to hold the data. Enter Dennis Gabor, who in 1971 won the Nobel Prize for his invention and development of the holographic method. Holography can be used to store information inside crystals. And this knowledge is combined today to help you have better health and life. When applied to the body, the unique energy field signatures of Nature's Frequencies products correct and harmonize your body's frequency to optimize your body's energy flow. When the body's energy flow is restored and harmonized, the health of the body is naturally realigned. All of this has been developed by a family company with big plans for the future. Visit our website, www.naturesfrequencies.com, to take care of your precious health with Nature's Frequencies. Inspired by Tesla, patented by us.
All right.
Wonderful video.
Now let's talk about today's problem. What is a problem Oh, nope. Let's talk about 6 patents. Nope. Let's talk about awards. Yes, we've won 15 major industry awards, but the best one ever was the Gold Medal Edison Award. We were with Dow Chemical, we were with IBM, and we were some of the biggest companies in the world, and we won the Gold Medal Edison on the red carpet in New York. It was incredible. We were in USA Today. RJ was live on Fox News. And yes, we have 6 amazing patents for our technology, which is light years ahead. So with that, where are we going next, Arj?
On to the problem.
The problem, today's problem, cell phones, 5G, Wi-Fi devices. Our bodies, our energy, and every day our bodies are bombarded by internal, external stressors such as 5G and EMF. And today you're going to hear about that. And these stressors can create and cause issues with the body and the way your body functions and the way it's harmonized and the way it works. So when your body's energy flow is drained, blocked, or imbalanced, or interrupted, you feel discomfort or other issues. So with that being said, where do we go from here, Arj?
The solution.
We have the solution. Nature's Frequencies invented and patented some of the most advanced energetic health and wellness products designed to balance and restore your body's natural energy flow to your body to achieve optimal health and wellness. But the good part is, this is a direct quote from our US patent about the EMF shield, which is what we're going to talk about today. The energetic information from the program layer is programmed to offset negative effects of electromagnetic field output from a mobile electronic device, such as a phone, such as a tablet. So when you place the EMF shield on your cell phone or on your device, the shield assists the body with the beneficial frequencies and information, which can then offset the negative effects of electromagnetic fields. That is what we do, and we do it really well. So first, this is the award-winning company owners. That's RJ and me. Say hi, Arj.
Hello.
So anyways, that's a little bit about us. We're happy to be here with you. This is the problem. Okay. Kids now live on phones. You try to take a phone away from a kid. You can't. They live on phones. And the problem is, you're going to hear, the problem is 3G was bad. 4G was bad. 5G is worse. And what's next? And nobody seems to care, but your kids are living on it. So, let's start with Dr. Stan. Dr. Stan's a 40-year medical doctor with a great family practice. So he has seen over the past 40 years the changes of the world, and people grow up, his patients grow up, and honestly has seen just about every issue you can imagine. Simply put, Dr. Stan is probably one of the smartest people I know. And I spoke with him this week on a project we're working on, and he gave me a 4-page detailed solution on what to do. He's incredibly intelligent, and we are truly lucky and beneficial to be able to work with him, consult with him for us today and in the future. So we asked Dr. Stan to explain a little bit about EMF and 4 and 5G. So let's hear it from Dr. Stan, RJ.
EMF stands for electromagnetic field. Basically, it's divided into, most of the time, it's divided into 2 groupings. One is low frequency, which is the stuff that's in our houses. So the stuff that runs through our wires, that's low frequency EMF. High frequency EMF is called microwave EMF. And so if the word microwave rings a bell, you're not supposed to put your hand in the microwave oven and turn it on because it does bad things to your hand. Well, that's the same frequencies that are running our cell phones. So that's called microwave energy. And that's the microwave energy that we think is probably more damaging. And the research that's been done, there's over 500 published studies on the negative effects of EMF on the human body. So it's not in the theoretical range, it's just in the ignored range. So we're at the same place right now where the tobacco industry was in the late 1950s. People were suspecting there's a major problem, but the so-called experts would testify before Congress and explain that it was actually good for the body. So, to smoke, so that's where we're at right now. And people that have very powerful interests are trying to suppress very good research that shows real harm to different parts of the body. And the ones that I'm most interested in are the brain, because of the many things that happen, the immune system and the reproductive systems. And basically, without getting into the science, the EMF is harmful to all of that if you're not doing something to mitigate it.
Now, I love his analogy with tobacco way back, because way back, oh, this is good for you. And, and everyone said, oh, no, smoking, no problem, no problem. Oh, well, now they might have said there's a problem. Oh, well, it came out, my bad. And, nobody's answering the question. I've yet to hear a doctor say EMF is good for you or microwaving yourself is good for you. That statement hasn't came. So, anyways, let's, RJ, let's see what's next.
It's in your head.
Yeah, let's hear this. This is good.
The first one that I'll mention then is the story of a relative who has extreme EMF sensitivity. And to the average person, somebody watching somebody that looks like they have EMF sensitivity, they usually just will say, oh, it's just in his head. Well, it is in his head. That's the problem. But it's not imagined in his head. And what this person experiences, if he could get to a place, and there are a few places where we go camping where there's no EMF, there's no high frequency EMF, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no signals at all. He would feel good. He would have high energy. He would be able to do stuff. And as we would go back to town, the closer he would get to town, the worse he would feel. And most people would say, oh, that's just because you don't want to go back to work. But that wasn't true. The issue was that the EMF was really causing these very negative effects. And for a while, he was staying, during the summer, he was staying in our backyard. And because we have very little signal here, as you might notice from I'm probably breaking up half the time here. But we only have one signal versus, the dozens that you have in a town. And he was relatively able, with the technology that you have, once we added that in, it helped him tremendously if he stayed away from the massive sources of EMF. But as winter approached, that was not going to be tenable. So we created some Faraday, he built a Faraday cage around his bed and around his workspace in his home. And in combination with the technology that you have supplied, it has transformed his life. He's highly functional, back to the best he's been. And it's because this negative effect has been mitigated in his life. And he's able just to go about the way he was supposed to go about, except it was being interfered with in this invisible way that a lot of people don't believe is going on, but it is going on.
Yeah, one of the things, just so people understand, is he couldn't work. He was physically, couldn't get out of bed, the movement, totally out of it. And it wasn't like he didn't want to work. He just
absolutely.
And
if he tried to take a walk, he would be exhausted. A 1 block walk,
right?
Exhausted.
And this was a normal, healthy person. And what Dr. Stan was trying to say nicely is, Rick and RJ probably have some few other technologies that we haven't shared yet, that we have shared with Dr. Stan. And we will always share with Dr. Stan, and we will invent more stuff with Dr. Stan. So we are always happy to help when someone needs help. When I heard this first story the first time, and he said, look, this is a young, healthy kid that wants to work but can't. And I ran, every once in a while, I hear a story about this, and it wipes people out. And nobody gets it. They think he's lazy. And it's not that he's lazy. He just physically was boom. It's like he got punched out, and that was it.
If you can think of the worst time you ever felt and the most tired you felt, and then imagine feeling like that 100% of the time, that's what these folks are feeling like.
You know, Dr. Stan did a ton of research on EMF because it was a family member that was dear to him that everybody said it was in his head. And he solved it. And I worked with him every way I could to help. And we were happy to load him up with EMF shields, earthing cards, and every possible way to help this person. And now he's back to normal. So one more time, RJ, a couple problems of EMF.
There's over 500 published studies that show that EMF damages physiology. Not all human studies, but there are human studies also. And there's two things that I think are, well, there's three things I'll mention. There's a lot of things you could talk about. The first thing is that EMF interferes with your pineal gland's ability to make melatonin. And so when that happens, you don't sleep well. So by letting this EMF hit you, especially when it's in the evening, especially if it's through the night, then your ability to sleep is impaired because you're not making melatonin naturally. So that's a really big one. And I tell people that your brain interprets EMF as if somebody's shining a bright light in your eyeballs. It can't tell the difference. It's just energy that's not supposed to be there. And so the pineal gland is being signaled, don't make melatonin yet. It's not time to go to bed yet. So that's for myself, the biggest thing. But there are other things that it does that are more subtle. One of them is that it causes the fungi in your GI tract to make hundreds of times more toxins than normal. So we have over 5,000 species of fungi in our GI tract. They're supposed to be there. They're not pathogens, but they act pathogenically when you stimulate them with EMF. They make a lot more toxins, and these toxins just don't sit there in the gut. They're absorbed and they go through the body. The third thing that happens is that it causes the balance of power to shift of the different bacteria that live in your gut. That's called the biome. And there's over 1,500 species, and they all shift in response to these energies. And 4G passes right through you. There's no blocking 4G. 5G is much more intense, but it doesn't go through as much, but it's much more intense superficially. So the both together are capable of causing quite a bit of disruption, and it will get worse.
And one of the things he said, Arch, that I really liked was, if your body's like the pineal gland's not telling your body to create melatonin, that inhibits sleep. And it's like shining a bright light in your eyeballs. And when he said that, it kind of is like, wow. And if you think of like a smart meter or your routers are constantly sending out a signal that your computer will find. So he described it kind of like that. He goes, understand, how does your computer know there's a signal going? It's because the router is constantly sending it. So, a lot of people have sleep issues, and you're going to hear that more and more as 4 and 5G. Some of these recordings were prior, so it's kind of neat. Let's go to Dr. Janine. Dr. Janine's been using our products for the patients for about 10 years. RJ and I met her at Life University, and she was concerned about EMF and 3G back then. She found our EMF shields, fell in love with them, fell in love with RJ, thought he was the cutest thing. And she has been an absolute pleasure to work with. She's probably done thousands of muscle tests and HRV tests, showing her patients the need to protect and why, and how the body is weakened with EMF. So again, 10 years ago, she was concerned with 3G. So let's hear from Dr. Janine, and let's hear from Dr. Janine what she has to say.
I've been concerned for many, many years about EMFs, long before, people were even talking about them, long before people had any concern. I've been concerned about things like cell phones, 5G, 4G, cell phone towers, all these smart devices. And the reason why is because they emit frequencies that are not so healthy or not so friendly to our bodies. Now, our bodies are energy. And when you're being bombarded with these outside frequencies, it kind of throws us off balance. And it's something that you can't see. You can't taste it, you can't hear it, and most people can't feel it. Some people are very sensitive and can, but most people can't. However, it's there and it's affecting us all the time. And so this is something that I have really been looking at and helping my patients to understand for years. Just as an example, when you open up your computer and you turn on your Wi-Fi to see which networks are within range of you, you're going to get a long list of all of these available networks. What that means is that those Wi-Fi signals are within range of your computer and they are within range of you. And so all of those are affecting your body at the same time. And this is why it's so important to make sure we're doing something to help our bodies to kind of fight against this type of stress. So Nature's Frequencies holds 5 US patents, and one of them clearly states that it is programmed to offset the negative effects of electromagnetic field output, EMFs, from a mobile electronic device. This is huge. This was huge for me because not only am I testing in my office, but I know that this has been proven to actually be effective at what we're saying that it does.
You know, that's one of my favorite lines. You can't see it, you can't feel it, you can't taste it, and you can't hear it, but it's bombarding us all the time. And that is a great line that I've loved Dr. Janine for saying, because it really is affecting us all the time. What do we have here, Arj?
Basically, we have all of these devices around us that communicate energetically, so to speak. You know, the Wi-Fi, the cell phones, the towers, the Bluetooth, all of these things, you can't see it. You can't feel it. Some people can feel it that are really, really sensitive. Most people can't feel it. You can't taste it. You can't hear it. However, it's bombarding us and affecting us all the time. And what happens is our bodies are frequency, our bodies are energetic. And we all know this because you might go into a room and somebody negative walks in, or somebody that's sad or that has an attitude walks in, and you can literally feel the energy of the room just, I mean, I know we've all felt that before, or, you know, being around somebody that just makes you feel tense. Well, this is what happens to our cells when we are surrounded by this electromagnetic frequency, this EMR radiation. Our cells go into a stress mode. And so what happens with them is that they kind of, the cell membranes kind of harden down. They have a hard time getting rid of their toxins, and they have a hard time taking in their nutrients. So it affects our body's function. Now, you know, the original studies that were done on cell phones, they said, oh, well, it doesn't really affect us because it doesn't, you know, heat the tissue up that much. Well, there's so many more effects that don't have anything to do with heat. There's biological effects that affect the function of our cells and our tissues. And that's what's really causing a problem. When you have these devices that emit, so anything that is hooked up wirelessly, whether it be the LTE, the new 5G, which that takes it to a whole different level. That is exponentially more toxic than what we've been exposed to. And what that's doing to us is it's really taking our immune system down, to be honest with you. That's what it does. It hinders your immune functions drastically. And so now more than ever, we've got to be super proactive. But as our phones try to communicate with the Wi-Fi, with the Bluetooth, and with the cell phone towers, there's 3 different types of radiation that it's emitting. When we have these devices on our phones, and I'm one of those people, unfortunately, I'm contributing to the statistic. I am one of those people with 2 phones. I don't go anywhere without it. I keep it on every device, the phones, the computers, the tablets, the routers, everything that I can absolutely think of. I'm going to go through this list and make sure I haven't missed anything, because basically, when we have it close to our bodies, which we do with these, whether we carry them on our bodies or whether they're in our, in our bags, they're still right there next to us. And so we're having a greater effect. So the start of it is protecting your own environment, mitigating all the devices in your own environment, and then wearing that card so that you're protected against everything else that's coming from the outside.
You know, Dr. Janine's been concerned ever since we met her 10 years ago. And this is her biggest concern is kids. Kids have I have a thick skull. I'm old. RJ's got a thinner skull. A little one's got a much thinner skull. And their brains are a lot more water. Water absorbs everything. And you can see in the picture the difference of how the microwave cell phone effect goes inside the brain. So RJ, let's hear one of Dr. Janine's biggest concerns about kids, because they live on these devices now.
Rick, absolutely. This is laminated. I carry this around, and it's the picture that we showed earlier. And the bottom line is that children are a lot more susceptible for a couple different reasons. Number one, they're going to have a much longer exposure, and that exposure is cumulative, but their skulls are thinner, and so the radiation penetrates deeper. And so they get exposure to more of their neurons, more of their brain cells for a much longer period of time. The other thing about kids is that their bodies are more hydrated. You know, babies, they're so cute and they're so squishy, as my daughter used to call it, but they have a lot more hydration. One of the signs of aging is that when your skin starts to dry out, you start to wrinkle, and you can tell the difference. So that hydration actually attracts the radiation. So they're getting a lot more exposure, they're getting more damage, and it's for a much longer period of time. And so that's why I say we've got to be, you know, this is important, not only to be wearing the card or the tag, but also to make sure we have all of the devices harmonized. That is huge. All the devices around the house, all the devices that they're going to potentially be exposed to, really all of your devices. And that's why the list that Susie mentioned earlier is so powerful, because there's so many things that people don't even think about around the household. I mean, this list is long. This checklist is probably 100 different things that you need to look at in terms of potential exposure, but specifically, especially the phones and the tablets and the computers that they're going to actually be holding and using. Mm-hmm.
Her concern's always been the littles, and now more than ever, if you ever watch a kid, they hold it forever. So Tim Coleman is an amazing quantum energy practitioner in California. He gets referred the toughest patients that most other practitioners can't deal with or help. And truly, in terms of trauma and stress, he sees the most severe cases. Tim is incredibly busy. It takes about 4 months to get an appointment with him. But about 2 years ago, we spoke with him. And this is prior to the 5G rollout. So you got to hear Tim from 2 years ago, what his thoughts were.
Let's not even talk about 5G. The 3G and 4G, even that alone, we're microwaving, our body's getting microwaved. So when we're holding on a cell phone and we're receiving calls and we're making calls, well, the signals are more of a microwave, and our cells are getting microwaved to a certain level. Now, what happens when that happens? It partially shuts down our cells, because our cells, our body's very smart. Our body knows that, hey, this is not natural. This is a threat. I'm under attack, basically. So the cells will partially shut down when this happens. Well, what does that mean? Well, think about all these functions in the body: digestion, building new cells. Well, if your cells are on, off, how efficiently is your body? How well can you repair your body? Not very well. So it puts a lot of stress on the body. And even when we're sleeping, we have these smart meters, we have Wi-Fi modem. And if we're not, we really need protection on our phones, because we're sleeping and we're receiving these frequencies, and it is interfering with our circadian rhythm, our sleep patterns. It's interfering with our body. We can't get as good sleep. So it's very important to have the EMF shields on the Wi-Fi modem. Have them on your phone. Have them on your laptop. I have them on all my electronics. Now, 5G, I was just reading a report. That's about 1,000 times stronger than the 3 and 4G. 5G is, I see it as, a huge health problem. And, unfortunately, it's probably going to roll out, and it is rolling out in some areas. You can do your own research. You can Google, effects of 5G. They've been rolling it out in fire stations, police stations. And now these people, like our firefighters, are now complaining with health issues and concerns, and it's having a detrimental effect on people. And unfortunately, it's probably going to roll out in your neighborhood. So the best thing we can do is protect ourselves, get a quantum card on you, get the EMF shield on your electronics. And, all we can do is the best, we can only do so much. But that, I think everybody really needs to take it seriously, because it can have a big effect on your body.
Arj, the picture in the ads that 5G and they cover the whole United States in red.
Yep.
This
Yep.
is Tim, when they only rolled it out at a couple places over 2 years ago, talking about, it's coming. So now, 2 years later, we talked to Tim, and one of his concerns came true. The number one stressor became EMF. And you're going to hear it because he's got an amazing computer he's worked with that helps diagnose what the number one issue is with his patients. So let's hear it from Tim, where he's at now.
EMF. Just to give you an idea, I have this really neat computer where I can bring somebody into my office. I hook up similar like a blood pressure cuff onto their arm. And now I have complete access to their body. It's like an IT person, going through your computer. But I can determine from the body standpoint, what are the main stresses? What are the priorities of the body? What can the body handle? For example, if somebody comes in and they might have heavy metal toxicity, but they'll tell me, no, they're not ready for that. Or, maybe their liver and their kidneys are just not up to par right now. So I can get a lot of information. I know we were talking the other day, I can look at anything and I can look at your spinal fluid. I can look at every nerve of the eye, anything. Well, what's interesting is, I've had this machine for probably 10, 11 years and I do all kinds of things. I can imprint frequencies into homeopathic remedies. I can infuse them into a person's body with lasers, a lot of neat stuff. So what I've noticed though, I have this category in the computer under toxicity. Now that'll tell me what are the main stresses to the body as it relates to toxicity. What I've noticed ever since this whole quarantine thing, there's been a dramatic increase in EMF exposure because it'll tell me right there, EMF exposure is the body's top priority, top stress. And I'm seeing a lot of really strange symptoms that maybe I would see once in a while. And now it seems like almost everyone's coming in with just random things like ringing of the ears, they can't sleep, even kids, panic attacks, energy issues. And what it is a lot of this EMF exposure, because where are people going to go? You got kids now on their tablets, they're in front, you playing video games, mom and dad, they might be working from home. Everybody is in this Wi-Fi soup and they're just getting microwaved. And just to give you an example, I just had a client, she texted me because her child is now having panic attacks, just can't go to sleep. She's scared. Well, after investigating and talking to her, she just installed a new security system, Wi-Fi security system with a camera and the whole alarm and everything. And it was having an effect on her little girl.
Tim called it 2 years ago, but when I was talking to him and he said, Rick, now, before I used to get different problems. He goes, number one issue is by far now toxicity to the body with EMF. So I think everybody gets the gist. The problem exists. It isn't in your head. It's real. So what can we do, Arch? It's time. What do we have? Do we have another page? Because we are surrounded with, like Tim put it best, the Wi-Fi soup. There's your Wi-Fi soup. So what do we do, Arch? Oh, we have the EMF shield. We love our EMF shields. Anyways, the EMF shield is just an amazing product. So let's go into the next one, Arch. Oh, we have 3 patents. That is amazing. Just the other day, one of our people hit me up with a product that was like a knockoff of ours, Real World. And they said, oh, wow, they have all these huge claims. So they sent me their website and I went on the website. All right. Now, first of all, it talks about a guy 10 years ago that thought about a problem. And then 2 years ago, he met a friend that was a scientist and they came up with this great idea. Again, 2 years ago, the company wasn't even started until 2 years ago. So I'm on their website. They have no US patents. They don't even have a patent pending. All right. They just started this. We've sold over 1 million EMF shields in the past 10 years. And this company started 2 years ago, if 2 years ago. And we sold our EMF shield only through doctors like Dr. Janine for the first 6 years. That's the only way you could get them, is through doctors. So doctors had to like it. This company didn't even have a doctor, let alone a clip of a doctor or anything. And there was no laboratory testing, no, like, you know, but they had a good story, and, you know, they've been in business like a couple months. Beautiful. But so people out there make a lot of claims. These are real US patents that you can look up. It's not patent pending, which is another great thing. You can file a patent to get it pending and then never get it. It's a challenge to receive a patent. Then you pay a maintenance fee to keep it up. So anyways, the EMF shield is covered by 3 patents. You can place the EMF shield on all EMF emitting devices. You want to go near the power supply, like anywhere you can. Look where your item plugs in. Usually the power supply is close, like a TV. Cell phones, place the shield in the back of the cell phone. I probably use more than one. Laptops, here we go. I put it right where my hands are. Desktops, put it between your, and place it by your screen or by your hands. Wireless keyboards where your hands sit. Tablets, you really want these on tablets because kids live on these little tablets. Load up Wi-Fi routers. These are constantly emitting. Smart TV, put it near the power supply. Smart meters are going off. Also, if you have any power supplies in your house, I keep these in my pocket when I go skiing because my power tends to die. So power supplies emit. So these are just some uses for the EMF shield. And Arj, what do we have to say about the EMF shield? Let's hear it. What do you have?
One of the products that I use and recommend is Nature's Frequencies EMF Shield. The EMF Shield is designed to harmonize, neutralize, and minimize the harmful effects of non-ionizing electromagnetic radiation, while also counterbalancing the harmful effects on the body, including nervous system disruptions, stress, sleep disturbances, eye and skin irritations, fatigue, body aches, and body weaknesses. So you're going to place the EMF shields on the back of your cell phone, and then any other handheld wireless device like a tablet, like your gaming devices, like your laptop computers, you're going to place to where your hands would go. Also, on all other electronic equipment, place the EMF shields nearest to the power supply. Optimal use is up to 1 year if the hologram on the shield remains undamaged. You get 4 in a pack. Many people will notice results within a few minutes to a few hours of applying the shields to their devices, with more benefits and results noticed with continuous use. Now remember, many of us can't feel EMF, so you might not feel prevention. One of the things that I test for in my practice is different things that are stressing our systems out. And EMF is a huge, huge stress that a lot of people are not talking about or not even aware about. So I believe that everybody needs to have an EMF shield on their devices because our bodies were not designed to deal with this type of frequency. These are really relatively new. When you think about how long humans have been around and you think about how long these wireless technologies have been around, it's a very short period of time. It's putting a huge amount of stress on our nervous system and it affects our function. And I can see that through testing. And so it's something that I feel like by removing that layer of stress, it gives you your body one less thing to worry about on its quest for healing and optimal health.
You know, Dr. Janine really put it well. And let's hear from quantum energy specialist, Tim, who has definitely seen the increase with the issues and what he considers is absolutely foundational, basically why it's a must-have. Let's hear it, Arj.
Me personally, and what I recommend everybody is the EMF or the earthing card. That is absolute foundational because you need that foundation for everything else, and it's going to enhance anything else you do, any other products, even even besides the products, you know. So the earthing card is number one, in my opinion. And then from there, the EMF shields, that's absolutely foundational because that provides additional protection and balance for your body. And, you know, again, we're being inundated with electrical pollution. I put them on my phones, tablets, my Wi-Fi modem.
You know, that it's important. And these people are practitioners seeing people with issues. So let's hear from Dr. Stan. And just real quick from Dr. Stan about trying to be proactive. And basically, you just want to help your family and yourself.
Putting EMF shields on your devices, your routers.
Yeah, I think that's foundational. And I think that unless you have unusually perfect health, you're probably going to benefit from doing these things just as a proactive strategy, even if you're not feeling like you need it, because people get used to being at this level of low energy and they think that that's normal. And then we do something and we return to normal and it feels wonderful. And so I think a lot of people are more effective than they realize. And so using these strategies, because we know we're being bombarded by EMF from lots of different places, I think it makes sense that we would try to shield ourselves from that.
You know, one of the things when I talked to him, he goes, Rick, 20 years ago, normal was an energetic person. Now I have a new normal. People accept that they can't sleep. People accept that they have fatigue. People accept ringing of the ears. He goes, it's the new normal is incredibly different. And he goes, it doesn't have to be that way, but you'd be amazed. Now people accept it because they're getting used to it. So he goes, you know, I've been doing this a long time, the new normal. This is pretty cool. This is another reason why our products are a little bit different. Besides being patented, we've got laboratory testing. And thermography is a great test. It shows basically it shows temperature increases and changes. And on the body, it's known as a hotspot. And that means basically something's going wrong. All right. It's usually inflammation or an abnormality. So if your body's trying to fight something, it sends blood there. And if it gets coagulated and can't move, boop, you get this hotspot. Or it can't flow through. So let's see some laboratory testing real quick. And this is a fabulous picture. And this is done actually in Australia, in a lab, on TV that we had no part of, but we got tested. A 10-minute phone call without the EMF shield on the left and a 10-minute with it on the right. I think pictures speak 1,000 words. So this picture kind of shows the difference. Now, we've also been independently lab tested. You know, and here's the other funny thing is this test is about 7 years old because we've been around a long time. So we had to test it. Your head goes up on average 1.5 degrees on a 3-minute call without an EMF shield. With it, it goes up on average 0.08. That's a 94% decrease. Where would you rather be? And some people have said, you know, my ear gets really hot. I go, put an EMF shield on it. So just to be very clear, this is independent lab testing that we did 7 years ago. And so when somebody said to me, you know, this company with this claims, I'm like, well, you know, we've kind of been making them for like 5 times longer. We probably sold 1 million and they probably sold, you know, whatever. So they can make any claim they want. And if they're going to be here, I don't even know if I care. So this is something that you got to see. Again, this was live TV in Australia. They tested our product and RJ and I didn't send it to them. They got it. Australia loves to test things. So they did. So all right, let's hear it.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the program. Well, we live in a high-tech world and the signals that are around us while out of sight might be messing with our minds. While the mobile phone debate surrounding their effect on our health continues to rage, companies are coming up with all sorts of devices and gadgets to combat the ill effects, if there are any. A phone micro shield promising protection has now arrived in Adelaide, so we put it to the test.
Our energy isn't designed to be bombarded with all this electromagnetic radiation every day.
If we could see all the electromagnetic fields around us, we'd be quite frightened.
We're surrounded in signals.
I think it's the root cause of a lot of cancers.
3G, 4G, now 5G is coming to a suburb near you.
It is a big health issue and it's only going to get worse.
The big telcos will tell you there's nothing to see here.
It's a bit like the cigarette companies saying that tobacco wasn't a problem.
Electromagnetic radiation is what mobile phones emit. The question is it in harmful doses?
I've seen enough patients already with sickness from mobile phone use.
Adelaide health professionals like naturopath Dr. Jeffrey Bryant and Deborah Regari from the House of Healing say it's downright dangerous.
Many in the scientific field today are very concerned as well.
I had a woman came in here once with a 3-week-old baby in a pram with the mobile phone right next to this baby's head playing at music.
But now a tiny wafer-thin shield is being touted as a potential protector of our brain. And when we road tested it, the result was jaw-dropping. Wow. We'll return to that soon. But Tony Mark Seymour, the man who introduced it to Adelaide from the US, reckons he was initially sceptical.
Most of these devices don't work, and in fact, some of them can have a negative effect.
The EMF shield uses so-called quantum physics to assist the body to counterbalance these negative signals from phones. But do we really need to be shielded? Well, the only large study into a link between mobile phones and brain cancer was funded by the mobile phone companies.
But even that study hinted at a relationship between high usage of mobile phones, more than half an hour a day, and brain cancer.
Neurosurgeon Dr. Charlie Teo says his patient records turn up some chilling coincidences, like a man who used his company mobile constantly.
He died of brain cancer. All 4 partners in the company died of brain cancer. And then his wife rang us up 2 years after he died to say that the secretary, who was also on the mobile phone, died of brain cancer.
Telstra pointed us towards the World Health Organisation's ruling on the matter.
To date, no adverse health effects have been established as being caused by mobile phone use.
But delving deeper, WHO has classified radio frequency electromagnetic fields as emitted by mobile phones as possibly carcinogenic to humans based on an increased risk of glioma, a malignant type of brain cancer.
So I do know that if you're exposed enough to EMR, you will get brain cancer and you'll die from it.
Now the test. I spent 10 minutes with my mobile phone against my ear, had a thermal image snapped, and the result floored me and my crew. Not only hot, but white hot in the ears region. The EMF shield was then attached to the back of the phone, another 10 minutes on it. This time the image snapped was cool.
I would love to see more detailed investigation as to how it works, what it actually does to the radio signals, so that we can actually understand, the effect that you saw in the thermal imaging that you did.
Computer systems engineer Dr. Paul Gardner-Stephen from Flinders Uni says while it's possible to shield phones from radiation, he's not sure there's a risk.
In that regard, I would say that the jury, I think, is still out, at least from what I've read.
The more people that are exposed to this technology and these devices, the better.
And details on the shield are on our website, and we contacted the TGA to get their thoughts on the device. Their statement is also on our website.
Anyways, that was a great video that I love, because they tested our product, and if it didn't work, you'd have heard about it, because it's Australian. They love doing that. So how to muscle test. This is a great video. You can show this. Dr. Janine has been doing muscle tests on her patients for 10 years. Our product has never failed her. So let's see how to do a muscle test. So anybody can do it to anybody.
So since
And
it's
then I'll
difficult to
explain it.
visibly see these EMFs, what I'd like to actually do is to show people how they can affect your body. So one of the tests that I do that's very easy to demonstrate, you can do this at home, is I do a little muscle test with the fingers. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have him hold, I usually use the ring finger and the thumb, and I'm just gonna say, hold your fingers together, just with enough force to keep me from pulling them apart. I'm gonna apply a little pressure to try to pull them apart, and I want him to hold them together. So here we go. Just like that. Okay, and we see about, how much strength that takes. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a phone. This phone actually does not have an EMF shield on it at the moment. And I always make sure it's on, so I'll just press the side button, make sure it's on. I'm gonna say, hold this in your hand. And basically I say to people, are you aware that when you have that cell phone in your pocket, on your body, in your energy field, it can actually affect your body and make your body weaker? So we're gonna hold that. We're gonna repeat this test and hold. Now, this time when I pull, they always laugh because it's hard. It starts to come apart because this phone is actually making your body less energetic. And so we do have our Nature's Frequencies energetic solutions. So I always keep a little EMF shield with me. All you have to do is just place it right over the phone. Doesn't have to stick or anything like that. Just place it there. We're going to repeat the test and hold and pull. And this time he's strong. And it's always like, whoa, they always say, do that again. So I take it away, do it again. But one thing that I always point out is that the second time, he's even stronger than he was baseline. So hold. Nice
that's
and
not
strong.
moving.
Yes. And it's just because the healthy frequencies in this shield enhances his body's energetic frequencies for balance and so that he can deal with all of this stuff that we're being exposed to. Another great test to do that's going to show the power of the EMF shield is just a simple balance test. So I'm going to say, put your feet together like this, legs straight, feet together, just to make sure we always have it the same each time. You're just going to cup your hand next to you, just like this. Perfect. I'm going to push down to see how much force it takes to kind of throw you off balance. So we're going to push, and there we go. All right, timber. Now, I go and get the phone, and I'm going to have you hold that in your other hand. Put your feet together. Always make sure they're doing the same thing each time. Otherwise, they'll say, oh, we did that different. And we're going to do that again. And it was noticeably easier to throw you off balance. Now we're going to place that EMF shield there on the phone. And let's see, feet together. All right, let's see. Oh, yes, you're so much stronger that time. So that's another great demo that you can do. One more great test I'm going to show you that we do is just a straight arm muscle test. So what you're going to do is just hold your arm out straight. This is a good shoulder. Yep. Okay, good. I'm just going to press down, see how much force that takes. And then we're going to have you hold that dirty phone again. And we're going to repeat that. Oh, yeah, noticeably weaker. And then we are going to do that again with that EMF shield and hold. Oh, yeah, now I'm going to see, maybe I'm not pushing hard enough. I think he got pretty strong there. So those are 3 great muscle tests that you can do to demonstrate the power of our products.
Arj, what people have to understand, it's not just your muscles that are working better. It's not just your balance that's working better. Your body is functioning better as a whole. Your organs are functioning better. So the muscle test is just one way to show that your body, yes, your muscles are stronger, but why are they stronger? Why is your balance better? And that's what you got to understand. It's not just a muscle. It's not just a balance. Everything is functioning better with the EMF shield. So it's just a good thing. What do we have next, Arj?
So since
we got promo time.
Hey. We have flash promos. All right. We have an amazing energy and vitality card that's just amazing.